we are. I skipped the walk here. This is the first place where you can buy warp whistles, which is going to be a major expense eventually in the game, simply because it's a lot easier sometimes to just escape from a fight. So that's nice. I think this is also the first time they'll sell to you. I don't recall if they do that when you actually get here. So this is the point where everything opens up in terms of what these guys will sell you. You get gold armor here, which we got one set of it from the Magitech facility, but otherwise we've only got a little. Did we not get gold armor? I may have missed it there. And I want to buy a mystery veil. I will probably buy another eventually, but the mystery veil is useful for Terra for reasons. They also sell rods, which is nice. And Rising Suns, which is the next tier of Boomerang, I think. Which is actually pretty good for luck. And I'll probably need two eventually anyway. Also gonna buy an Ice Rod. I'm not 100% sure if we get one. Wait, there's nothing in here, I think. Yeah. Just the Elder. Is there anything in here? No. I always forget if there's anything in here that has stuff in barrels. I got spirit rings and amulets before you could get them. Prior to this point, this is like the point where you'd start really seeing them. You can also get sprint shoes, guard rings, and wall rings, finally. Sprint shoes are auto-haste, which is obviously good, so I probably want more of these. Guard rings are auto-safe. Wall rings are auto-shell. May buy a guard ring right now. I'm debating it. I probably don't need it right now. But this is a spot to get them. Might as well get on with things, so we need to name our next two party members. Yeah, this guy totally doesn't know anything about magic. That's why you were just naming him for no reason. Also, he has a surprised expression, which is just very much like a generic NPC. Seems like this segment was supposed to come way earlier in the game. It gives that impression. Because you get two characters here, right at the tail end of the World of Balance. It's not like they're overpowered or anything, they're just regular characters. Including the Blue Mage, who wasn't available at all until up to this point, so you have to end up going out of your way to actually acquire lores at this point. So it's just kind of odd. It feels like it was meant to be earlier. Now, they recommend looking around town and finding all the evidence that magic is in fact known here, but we're just going to go to the end and sleep. For some mysterious reason, it only costs 1 gold. Yep, this is the second time in 2 instays that Locke has been woken up by somebody. He's going to be so tired. And this is why it wasn't worth worrying about Shadow, because as soon as you sleep here, he leaves the party and he doesn't come back to the floating continent. So it was almost completely pointless for him to even be here. I do like the palette that they use here, though. The nighttime but on fire. Oh, well, I guess you kind of blew the lid off that, huh? So much for explaining it away as swamp gas, right? I guess everybody in town knows Aqua Rake. Well, that's convenient. It also doesn't work at all. Congratulations, guys. Also, they don't actually object to him going into a Blazing Inferno, they just don't want him to go without them. So we got our new guy. I didn't really get him much in the way of stuff, but there's not really a whole lot he can equip. Right now, anyway. He's got pretty good stuff. I do want the Ice Rod, though, and I'll put him in the back. Where's Terra right now? Ice Brand. Yeah, I want her in the front. Lock. Let's do Ice Brand again. Question is, do we want the Rising Sun or the Demon's Bane? I think the Demon's Bane probably has better stat boost, so try that. It's his equipment, or a set of equipment. Amulet's good. High magic defense, there's quite a bit of that here. Either the cape or the stat stick. I go with the stat stick. He doesn't have much health. He has a normal amount of health for someone who's level 13, but he doesn't quite stack up against Terra and Locke right now. In here are grenades. Just upgraded bombs, basically. So we'll try out Aqua Rake here. They can use Blaze, which is a fire elemental lore, so he can learn it here. But not always. I don't, it's kind of low down in their priority list. Let's make sure that... Yeah, experience gain's off. So unfortunately he won't be able to do a lot due to experience gain being off, but give him... Having ice damage is not going to help here. 7 seek then. Probably swap Carbuncle from Terra. She doesn't quite need as much, need her MP as much as he does. And he can also use rods to attack, which have a 50% chance of casting the associated spell, and they do critical hits with MP, but they're not very strong, so the critical hits are sometimes a little weak. I'm just hoping that he'll use Blaze, but he may explode instead. So I'll just defend. Wait and see what it does, and it exploded. It didn't have much health left, so it doesn't hurt that hard. The reason I don't have experience on is these are terrible fights for Esper levels. They're like 1 magic point each, which is really bad. I like to avoid that. that. And I'd also like to avoid fights in general. Although you don't really have to, because they added something that makes this sequence a little easier later. Flare up is their special. It appears that it can cause blindness as well, so Locke may need to fix that on Locke. Although Aquarig's gonna kill everything anyway. Boom! As far as what works best here, I think they're weak to water and ice, but the water element sword casts a wind element spell. I don't know if anything here is immune to wind or not, but it won't give me bonus damage, whereas ice gets it twice. Okay, yeah, this is probably a good time to Aquarig. Assuming he doesn't get dumpstered first. And he gets dumpstered first. We have a backup. Storm is, I think, water and wind elements, so let's see if they are indeed wind immune. They are not. So the water damage gets the priority and does way more damage. We are well and safe in our supplies, so even though we lack Cyan and his infinite restoration, Terra's got a gigantic MP pool. Both Terra and Locke can heal. It's just a question of do we get lucky and get Blaze cast or not. Blaze is kind of dangerous, so it would certainly be a bit of a problem if we did get it, but if we do get it, then we'll get the lore. Which will be completely useless here because it's fire elemental. The Mystery Veil that I bought for Terra increases the chance that her sword will cast a spell from, I think, 25% to 50%. So that's why she's getting lucky more than Locke. The Ice Rod is also 50%, but we haven't gotten any luck with that yet. If it works, it's cheaper than casting a spell or whatever. Really? And he's still not casting. Come on, old man, pull your weight. Even though I'm deliberately handicapping you, so it's kind of not fair. Yeah, you can't even hit with that stuff. Get this out. Get that weak shit out of here, Strago. He's flaring up, which means he's not at minimum health anymore. Or not at minimum health yet. See, there you go. Terra's doing it. Will cast Remedy rather than use some, even though it's almost pointless to do so. I think the left door is a trap. It's like a fight or something. So I think we won't avoid that. The right door leads on, I think. It's been a while. Yeah, he's just got no health. That's kind of his thing. Now, he has lots of ways to mitigate that problem, but he doesn't have them now, so if they hit him, they're just going to dumpster real hard. There's not a lot I can do about that. I could have him spamming Aqua Rake, and then these fights would probably be over fast enough where he's not at risk, but Revival's cheap. I think now this time we'll go to the right to get a reward of some sort. I think a Fire Rod. Used to be you could get an Ice Rod in here in the vanilla game, but I think that was really because they said they were storing Fire Rods, so there's a bunch of Fire Rods in here, like 2 or 3, I don't remember. We'll see. But regardless, I bought the Ice Rod so that he'd have it from the start. Now this is a good opportunity to Aqua Rake. This is a big fight. And it's just better to avoid it. Alright. Yeah, there's a fire rod. Not useful now, but not bad to have. See, he can't even cast Aqua Rake anymore because he's been using his MP on spell crits. But Terra's still good. Yeah, he only had 18 health left, so there it goes. Now remember, he's in the back row, so he's hitting as hard with Bad Ice 2 as Terra is hitting with a front row weapon. If he moved to the front, that would be pretty considerable. But he's not in a position where right now he's safe to go to the front. It's just not really feasible. Oh wait, now that respawned a fight. Shouldn't have gone back in there. But when it works, it's very impressive. Alright, we got a full free proc. Good work, guys. Seems like you also get a fair amount of money in here. It's just, I guess, because you've got yeah, another fire rod. I think that was an ice rod in vanilla, which would have been very helpful, but we bought one, so no worries. The other thing they added here is a restore point. So you can not only save, but you can also restore all your health and magic. So that's a big help. Let's see what we got. I think for the most part we've got everything that we're going to be getting. That's a good question as to what we want here. Almost want the auto regen. For a reason. And I think Locke's okay as he is. Actually, I want to give him a shield, because dual wielding has a damage penalty, and might as well give him the extra block. He's okay. Do I want to change what he's using? Boost to magic would be nice, as to his MP. Yeah, now he's got a bit more. We'll go with that. Oh, and should I? No, because you can get experience in this fight, I believe. Having ice damage, not super useful. The MDef is going to be better, even though the summon would do quite a lot of damage. Now, Heartfire can be a notoriously difficult boss, mainly because if you're unprepared and you come here in vanilla and you haven't really done anything with Locke and Terra, then it kind of sucks. Okay, can we not? Oh, gangbang Strago, please. Something to snap into while we kill the grenades. The grenades will come back. Of course they will. But it gives us a little time. Okay, that Slim Jim certainly saved him. He'll probably get killed by the next thing Heartfire does. Yep, just gonna fucking fire to him to death. Come on, dude. This is a huge problem. Locke's got ways to deal with it, but Jesus, stop spamming that shit! Okay, I'm gonna have to slow him. If he's getting 2 fire 2s off before we even get a turn, though, there's no way I'm gonna be able to keep Strago alive. Grenades are back, so now I was gonna have Terra do something. Slowing him is more important. That worked. So that's gonna get rid of his haste. He's still gonna... Oh, okay. He didn't spam the whole party, so... We got an alive old man. Now, if he actually had learned some spells here, he'd be a lot more useful. But I didn't want him to do that. And it's time to morph. Or, as they say... Oh, yeah, there's Blaze. So that's good. Blaze is good. I think it causes... can cause sap. It apparently didn't cause sap to us. I'm also going to summon Zone Seek. So Terra's morphed. That causes her regen ticks to be higher, which is nice because she's in decent shape. And of course it increases her damage. It does technically increase her damage taken as well, but she's in pretty okay shape right now. In fact, instead of having her attack... Locke's getting some crits. Wow, he wrecked that thing. Very nicely done, Locke. And everybody else. I think that got toned down a little bit, because I don't remember it being quite that easy. But we got Blaze, so even though we missed out on all those EP, which he'd like, and spell points especially, but because those grenades give experience, I couldn't turn it on for the boss. But we got Blaze, so that's good. Shadow can throw 100 damage wave scrolls, so I'd say he could probably take on as many grenades as he wanted. I think Shadow actually does learn Warp in this, which is funny, because that does mean he could have actually gotten everybody out. I think in the original he uses a Smoke Bomb, which is the flee from combat thing, which technically wouldn't work because he already killed all the monsters. Just turning up those little problems and fixing them. That's what mods are for. Yeah, your powers are weakened, but you can cast one spell. Well, two now. But Blaze is actually really useful to have now that I think about it. It's cheaper, plus, since he's not learning any spells yet. First things first, get the Memento Ring, which we can't actually use. This is for... where is it? There it is. It's for Shadow and Relm. It's actually really good because it's a huge boost to magic power, which Shadow does not normally get. So it gives him kind of an edge there. For all the good it is, because we won't be seeing him again for a while. This is one of the few scenes that is actually subtle. Shadow knows, or Strago knows who Shadow is. So their conversation has double meaning. That's in the original script as well. I don't know how specifically intentional it is, but, I mean, he has to know who the dude is. But he definitely keeps a lid on it. Could have blabbed the whole thing to Terra and Locke, but he decided not to. Let's see if I can get him any improvements. I don't think so. Not until the actual dungeon, but let's take a look. Okay, I need to get another gold shield, actually, now that I think about it. Yeah, he can't really use anything except the stuff he already has. Switching to the gold shield here, not only because it adds more defense, but because of a certain thing that will happen later that I want to make sure Locke is prepared for. Could also buy a thunder rod. You can break the rods, just like in vanilla. They cast the associated level 2 spell. The poison rod casts bio. The poison rod has a minor stat boost. The fire, thunder, and ice rods don't, but they're generally more useful, obviously. And I think we don't want the life belt. Yeah, black belt's fine. I probably don't want the ice brand anymore. I'm not sure what we do want, but I can give her the blood sword. And Locke can use whatever. Of course, we also have the lore, Aquarake and Blaze. There are much fewer lores than there used to be. There's like 12 of them, so they're not as hard to get, and they're not useless. They're not all useless, except for one or two. So that's nice to have. We healed. We are. So let's cross to the Esper Mountain. This one can be slightly rougher without the ability to mitigate encounters with stuff, just because I'm not sure what he's actually weak to. I think piercing encounters fight. Okay, he just kind of counters everything. Don't use earth and water, other than that, it's fine. Alright. Oh, Berserking. Countering with Berserk on Terra while she's got the blood sword? It's not good. Now, Blaze can set Sap, which is nice. Thanks for the health back, jerk. He hates... There you go. I don't know why everybody does that. It's starting to get on my nerves. But I'm fine with Terra being Berserk. If that's the way they want to roll, that's the way we'll roll. Fortunately, we've got plenty of healing. I want to preserve magic, though, because I don't know. Actually, now I'm going to think about it. Maybe Terra should go to the back. The Rising Sun. Actually, we put them both in the back with a Rising Sun. No reason to take unnecessary damage, and I don't really know what element weaknesses will run up against, unless I check. Another Chimera. Really? Alright, so I gotta try it out. Not bad. It's just bio, so it's not hugely important, but it's okay. Terra's got a black belt on, so she's countering. Locke's just throwing. In a good way. Might as well use this dried meat. I swear there are things on this continent other than chimeras. Can I fight one of them, like, ever? Blaze is nicely economical, though. It's basically like it's closer to Fire 2 than it is to Fire, but it's not quite as strong, but it's also not quite as expensive. So it's like Fire 1.8 or something. But it also can set Sap or Blind. So it's actually really good. There's Aqua Rig, which the Chimera would teach you if, you know, you didn't already automatically have it. But he always comes with Aqua Rig, so there's no point in learning it. You can definitely see how going for health Esper levels is helping in the World of Balance. Most things are just going to physically attack you. They don't do fancy stuff. They don't spam magic at you, which is something that he actually does well is against magic spam, because he has high stamina, access to great magic defense, so he's a good choice, but here's his first upgrade, which should help. The Gator Hide, which just boosts a bunch of stats, does lower his magic slightly, but I think it also protects against water, which is important, so that's good. He can use the hides, as can Gao and Mog. And I don't remember if Relm can. Certain hides can only be used by certain characters, and the Snow Muffler can only be used by Moro, Mog, and Gao, I think. He can't use the Snow Muffler. You can free target Blaze, so it's just basically like a fire spell. You can hit one enemy, you can hit two enemies. But who knows? Die already. This guy does not want to go down. I'll have to look up what these things are weak to. Guess I don't want to go through that again. Let's see, Adamantoids. They have an 8 safe and they're weak to ice, so ice is the way to go. This would be useful if he had any of his ice spells, but he doesn't, so... Maybe we'll switch back to ice brands here. This is the reason that I bought 2 almost a long time ago. Those just loop. You can see Relm sneaking around behind us. I think it wouldn't let me transition screens until Relm was off screen. Okay, Abolishers. What do Abolishers do? They don't have any weaknesses. They have an 8 haste. They absorb Earth. Well, that doesn't really matter to us then. Basically the same then. Let's try a single target Blaze against something that's not super... Yeah, that's better. So the downside is there are certain things around here that are weak to ice that he can't... He would be good at killing them if he were getting magic at this point. He's just not. Yeah, you can run right into Relm. I'm gonna skip that because that's necessary to progress, but I want to save first. I want to use a teacher on the old man. That's good. I'm gonna save. I'll be right back. I just need to use the bathroom, and then I got a boss to fight. Alright, let's see here. I should probably re-equip and save that way. Not blood sword. Gonna give him a lack of swords. Strago needs a thunder rod. And I think I want to give him, instead of a magic cube, I'm gonna give him... Oh, I didn't pick one of those up. I was gonna say I was gonna give him an autosave, but he doesn't have it. I forgot, but I didn't buy one. So much for that. Anyway, see the cutscene here. Get some story about the next plot point. Although these are not the actual goddesses, which is a bit confusing. The script here tries to clean it up by having him explain that they're representations of the goddesses. But it still says they're very powerful, so who knows. At this point, you do have one last opportunity to change things up before Ultra shows up again, for no apparent reason. How he found out about these statues, or anything of the sort, is unclear. I think we're gonna snap into it. Strago's likely to die, because Tentacle is no joke. But we'll see. He also knows Fireball, which he'll use to inflict sap on us, which completely ruins the point of half of the Slim Jim, but okay. Let's just fight him. And I'll have Strago reuse the Slim Jim on Terra, just so that she's not exploding, because when she morphs, her regen and sap ticks both go up, so I do not want that to happen. Good news is, if the Bolt Sword procs, we get plenty of damage off on Ultros. But then he's going to target Strago. I think it's based on what he's targeted with. I forget. But he also uses El Nino, which probably would have killed Strago anyway. But because they have gold shields, it halves the damage from that, so that's helpful. Be enough. We'll see. I should probably try and summon Zone Seek if I can get away with it. Depends on whether he'll let me. Zone Seek summon casts Shell on the whole party for reducing magic damage, which is great. It also has the potential to allow Strago to safe and shell the entire party in 2 turns, which is Mighty Guard was nerfed and it now just safe. But he's the only person who can do both safe and shell. I don't know if he'll defend in time here. Yeah, I think what happens is if you use Thunder against him, he'll target Strago. Fire, I think he might target Terra. I forget. So I hate to use one of her valuable turns. Oh, and I wasted it, putting a Phoenix down on lock. Why does it let me use those on living characters? Oh well. Well, you're on your own, old man. If you survive, heal yourself. He's really just a liability in this fight. But Blaze is pretty good, so it's not like it's the worst thing in the world for him. But because we're hitting him with electricity, that can be a problem. Now, he does have weaknesses to both fire and electricity. Ultros does, so Blaze should hit him for decent damage as well. He'll also use El Nino again, which is fine, everybody halves it. I don't know if Strago has enough HP to survive it, though. Yeah, he does. Nicely done, Terra. He's probably gonna explode her now. Yeah. That's an instant kill when she's morphed. Okay, can you stop being a fucking asshole for 1 minute, dude? Like, this is absurd. This is such a stupid fight. It's always been this way. It's just completely random. Well, it's not completely random. It's just that Ultros acts so fast. Even though he's slowed, it's a little absurd. But you only have to do so much damage to him. I'm just gonna cure 2 spam. Oh, never mind. The sap did the damage to him. Although the fight is not technically over, because we have to actually successfully sketch Ultros with Relm. I think sketch no longer quite whiffs all the time. I can't remember if it doesn't miss or if they just made it miss a lot less. But it was kind of bad, because in the original, you could get stuck here where Ultros is killing Relm over and over, and you're trying to sketch whenever she's alive, and it just misses every time, which is a huge pain in the butt. The only real changes with Ultros in this particular fight is that he'll more specifically counter certain things that are used against him. Like, he was hitting Strago a lot because we were using bolt damage on him, and he's triggered, I guess, to attack Strago if you use bolt damage. I think if you use fire, he attacks Terra. He also just attacked Terra anyway, so there are a few things like that. But, also, Relm comes in the front row? Come on, dude. Try this. Okay, successful. And this gets rid of him. At this point, Relm joins, but there's basically no point in even using her in any fights because there's no more bosses, and back on the airship in a moment anyway. Go to the back row, little lady. She can use the white dress and some other female-only stuff. I don't think she can use the veils, so that's unfortunate. She can use shields, though, so that's nice. Brushes heal when they hit things. She could also use a rod if she really wanted to, but there's no reason to do that. Well, actually, there is reason to do that, because she doesn't have any spells, so she wouldn't be able to attack. Well, that's fine. She might be able to heal. I'm going to give her a power glove, because her heals, I think, are in fact physical, so they're boosted by a physical booster. If she hits you with a brush. Slurm. Strago situation. Oh, and they're immune to elect, so that's bad. I need to switch up my weapons again. Let's see. Oh, Discord. Oh, but it hits him. I'm gonna miss. I don't know if he'll learn that or not. Let's blaze it. Yeah, see, not a bad heal. Berserk and confused, that's annoying. Unfortunately, Terra's really slow. Yeah, but just to be safe, let's see if I can end the battle beforehand. Yeah, I figured I could. And I learned Discord! Hooray! Discord casts as it showed against Terra, Muddle and Berserk, so... He also learns regular Berserk, so you can use it more as a buff, but Discord is more for enemies. If it works, and it's cheap, if it works, then they're confused and they're hitting their allies very hard. If it doesn't work, it's a bit more of a problem. Let's go to Flame Time on Demon's Bane. Let's just go back to offensive lock. Now, regarding Ultros, there is a change to one of his later fights. Specifically the Floating Continent one. I think this is the wrong hole. That's what she said. Yeah, Relm does not have quite the same level of magic defense right now as her grandpa. Fortunately, so she's at least doing something. Cyclonic is a fractional attack, so it looks dangerous, but Cyclonic itself can never kill, as far as I know. And it might be able to kill if you're like, and a lot of things weak to fire looks of things. Relm's gonna take care of herself. You guys can deal with it yourselves. Alright. Still want to preserve magic, because Lock's dry, and... Oh, and Relm can use Espers as well. As it so happens, they're all equipped, but I can give him here. Give her a free. For all the good it does, they're not going to learn any spells at this point anyway. I think that's the way forward. That's not the way I want to go. You know what? We got nothing else to do with her. Let's sketch. They tried to improve Sketch as much as they could, try to make her abilities more useful. Also, they use Relm's stats instead of the enemies. Enemies have weird stats, they're usually a lot lower, so abilities that are used by the player tend to be a lot better. So Relm's problem was, a lot of times she'd copy an ability and it was terrible. It was just, the monster was terrible, their ability was terrible, it just didn't work, or any number of other things. So she was always seemingly useless, because basically, even if Sketch didn't break the game, it wasn't doing anything useful. They tried to make it more useful here, so there are usually pretty good abilities that are the most common Sketch, which she gets about 3/4 of the time. And then sometimes they're really good abilities, or unique abilities at least. They're not necessarily good, but they're things that nobody else can do, so to speak. Let's try something. So I don't want to go in the bottom left one, I think. I think I want to go in the top left one and the far right one first. Now there is the small problem that, since it uses Relm stats, attacks will use Vigor. So Relm's Vigor can actually be a factor. There's not really a whole lot you can do about that, but, oh, hey, that's nice, Magnitude. Unless they're immune. No, they're not immune, hooray. See, that's a good example. Magnitude is an ability that these guys don't normally use, but I guess they have access to, which is interesting to know. But Relm gets it off the Sketch, and then it actually does damage. And that's the other thing that could sometimes be an issue. You'd sketch something, and it would just use an attack of the same element that they were, and you just heal it. It's like, what was the point of that? I think there's still a little risk of that, but there's a lot less risk. Relm is also fast. You notice that she can get a freeze, so she can actually be as fast as, well, not as fast as Locke, she's got lower base speed. She can be much faster than other spellcasters with her double speed. She has some good spells as well. She's the only person in this mod that gets Flare. She also is the only person that gets Meteor. So it's actually really good if you magic build her, but she can also be a very good healer. Although, no matter what she does, she has free healing from her brush, so if you want to use brushes, you can. If you need more of a magic boost, she can use rods. I wouldn't recommend her as a rod caster, because she has no durability. If you're going to use somebody to actually attack with rods, it should probably be Mog, because he can use rods. Okay, we're going to go on the top left to get the last treasure, I think. Tabby Hide. I forget if Relm can equip this. Yeah, she can. It's a pretty good option. I mean, it really doesn't matter, because we're not fighting any more bosses after Ultras, but we'll give it a shot. Yeah, she's really good against these Slurms, because she can sketch Magnitude, and she's fast. She's almost beating Locke. She's Berserk now. Sketched herself or something. Okay, you can stop turning the entire fucking party berserk, thanks. Fortunately, well, maybe not fortunately, because he could get a rod proc off, that could be bad. But other than that, yeah, she blocked it, thankfully. I had to drop the hammer there to spiraling out of control. Right, I keep thinking they're on low on low health, but no, that's just how much health they have naturally. X-Ether to go with the X-Potion. The X-Ether is way more rare. It's MP restore to the whole party, and unfortunately you can't jump down to there. That would be nice. Have to go all the way back around and take the bottom left one again. Please don't Discord Relm. Let me kill you, and we'll just move on with our lives. Yeah, see, this is still happening, where even though we're fast, the monsters end up getting almost an entire round of attacks off on us. That's, I think Discord may be the rarer one, or else I just got very lucky with the procs before. But hey, it helped! For once. So there you go, Discord actually does something. Also, I think Strago still has the Elect Rod. The reason, or the Volt Rod, the reason why that works, and Relm's dead. No, she's not, okay. The reason why that works is because the rods themselves are not the same element as the spell they cast. So that's one issue with them is, they do auto-crit, but the people who use them tend not to do very good damage. Now, it does cause the spell to crit, but only if the spell casts. Terra's still got some MP here. A lot of MP. It's certainly coming in handy. Okay, back to the save. Last time. And the bottom left again. This time, to actually progress. See what, oh yeah, it's Cyclonic, I think is what the Adamantoids have. Yeah, there she beat Locke, she's fast. Acid Rain, I guess, I can't tell if Acid Rain or Cyclonic is the more common sketch, but did a good job. Real good job. Might as well just hit him with fire too. Yeah, they got auto safe, but that doesn't mean they're super weak to magic. Acid Rain does duty, though. Takes him out. Acid Rain's not very strong, but Relm has very high magic power, so when enemies use it, the damage is like okay, and it can be a pain in the butt, especially at low levels, but when Relm uses it, it's actually really good. But that's mainly because party member magic power. Oh, really? They're gonna put random encounters in this room? I think that's just a vanilla thing, but come on. I'm like 10 feet away from the freaking Espers here, can we not? No, and Strago's dead. Fine, he can stay dead. Nice! Of course, that's a fractional attack, so that damage is not as impressive as it looks, because it's actually a fraction of their HP. But it's 7/8 of it, so they should pretty much be dead now. Yeah, they're not gonna survive that. Alright, old man can stay dead. This was a really stupid plan in hindsight. They're very lucky that it actually worked. And then only because of Terra, so, I mean, that part of the plan was good, but, the rest of it, not so much. They do the secret Esper handshake. I guess it's a staring contest, actually. Yes, it's a very sad story. But you only killed bad guys, so who cares? And we get our happy ending. Which is so obviously not, but it could certainly potentially feel that way if you got to this point when the game was first out. Of course, nowadays this is quite well known that this is not going to be the ending, but it's a pretty spectacular way to introduce the climax. Oh, right, I forgot. Kefka's a thing. Anybody who has his own laugh is pretty much guaranteed to be an important character, so the fact that he's been a boss multiple times, things like that, should have probably tipped off the player at this point. Leo is completely unfazed. Which they actually added a mechanics reason for that, which is funny because I'll show that off once I have control. Also, Kefka has the vague, inexplicable power to instantly kill Espers, which is never explained and just something that he magically has. To the point where he can kill like a dozen of them at once. I really never understood this part, because they're supposed to set the village on fire, but after the segment finishes, the village is fine. I guess they didn't know that the villagers could put fires out, although they were pretty terrible at it. Right, anyway. Leo is pretty high level. I think it's relative to your level, it's higher. But his stats are utterly absurd. Like, even more so than they were in vanilla. 99 speed, 99 stamina, 121 magic power, 119 vigor, 255 battle power. Just insane. And he's got a normal old sword, it doesn't do anything. He's got 2 female-only pieces of equipment, which is apparently a joke about his Amano art. He has a hero shield, best shield in the game, hero ring, and Leo's crest, which is not yet explained, but gives him a bunch of properties like, I think, auto hits, auto counters, auto cover. But you can't really do anything as Leo except run around, try to leave and get attacked by Guardian, or face off against Kefka. Now you're pretty much guaranteed to get the first one because of 99 speed, so of course you're going to use Leo's shock ability, which instantly kills, quote-unquote, Kefka. Also note that it did damage to Leo. Shock now actually is like the Darkness Wave attack in Final Fantasy IV. It will reduce your health, and its damage is based on your health, so you need to keep your health up if you're going to try to use Shock a lot. Of course, you can only use Shock once here, so it seems pointless. And then Kefka, for whatever reason, is able to instantly kill Leo because cutscenes. Then a bunch more espers pop out. Bunch of Esper palette swaps attack Kefka with absolutely no outcome, or positive outcome. Oh, and also he can neutralize Esper's abilities, which also kills his men because, again, this is never adequately explained. Kefka just has super magic powers now. Yes, that's all very impressive. And then for some reason, he just leaves everybody alive. Except Leo. Oh no, Shadow's dead too. Totally dead. He's definitely not coming back. Yeah, no shit. Oh no, we're all really sad about Leo. We met him twice, and then he died. Don't do that. Sabin might suplex himself. Even though you do get control there, the instant you step on the airship, you get yet another cutscene. Check out my sweet flying continent, dudes. It's like, were they looking at that? Did they actually see it below them as they were flying over? What? Did they see this, or are they just talking about it? Well, we're not going to the floating continent yet. We certainly don't want to do that. Also, the party got rearranged somehow. We'll just unequip everybody. The good news is everybody's back, so everybody who would be here in the World of Balance, including Celeste, is in the party now. So that is useful, except Shadow. Shadow will not be considered quote-unquote in the party until his permanent join. So buy some dice, a couple of darts, just to have them. because I don't want to forget. You'll lose access to this store eventually. There's a number of places that I need to go. Well, there's one place that I need to go for sure. Also, it used to be that floating continent was, I think, the first option, so you could accidentally pick it. So they've removed that, shoved it down a little so you have to choose it deliberately. There we are. The Empire withdrew from Doma, so we can go in there. This is actually very important to do at this point, because there's a couple of treasures in here that you can easily forget about if you don't remember that the banquet reopened this place. There's also a room where you can rest, but we're not going to use that. There's an elixir in the clock. And ether. Not a big deal. What is a bigger deal? Oh wait, yeah, let's go into Cyan's dead family's room. X potion. Man, if you'd used that on them, maybe their family would still be alive, dude. The main thing is there's a treasure room here, which is very easy to forget, but you definitely don't want to, because there's a Murasame and another power glove. That's the second power glove. They're pretty rare. You definitely will want to have one. The Murasame... What's that do? There it is. The one that we got previously was Kazakiri, which can hit his Wind Slash. That's pretty good. Vigor and magic power, 150 battle power. The Murasame is a random counter. It's stronger. It adds vigor and stamina. And it randomly counters, which is usually better for Cyan. Usually, because he's using Bushido, which normally doesn't have hit problems. He doesn't really need a black belt, so having the katana that lets him counter is really nice. And I think that's all that's in here. So I don't think there's anything else of interest lying around. South Vigor is also accessible, but there's nothing new there. It's exactly the same shops as it started the World of Balance with, I think. So, nothing too crazy or exciting there. So I'm gonna drop anchor at Narsh. And I've got a lot of work to do, because I've got Espers to teach to people. I've got Celeste to get back up to speed. A lot of other things. Strago and Relm won't be getting as much Esper level out of what they've got. Fortunately, I think they're not too far behind. They should get plenty of EP, enough to get close. The people who are 15, the people who are 15-10 or who are 10, whatever, 10-0 or whatever, can easily get to Esper level 15 by level 20. And now that the floating continent is raised, I am going to increase my level cap and start leveling people again to 20, and I'm going to get everybody to 20. The main reason for that is that if you don't have anybody at the same level as everybody else, at the end of the World of Balance, you do get re-averaged, and you don't want that, because you don't want to lose levels, not so much for the levels themselves, but because every level that you have is an extra amount of EP to earn, and the Esper levels are really what's important, especially in the World of Ruin as the levels start increasing. So we are going to be teaching these guys their spells. Relm can learn fire spells. She can also learn Warp and Osmos, which is nice. So we got Carbuncle, so he learns a lot of utility spells. Scan, Reflect, Shell, Warp and Osmos, and Berserk. But he also learns the Ice Line, which is nice, at least Ice 1 and Ice 2. But his magic power is so insanely good that he often casts very, very well with it. The question, of course, becomes what to build with them. Zone Seek gives them magic and MP, but the amount of MP it gives is not as good per level, only 15. He gets Carbuncle like Terra, which offers better returns, but you get Stamina instead. But Stamina's very good on him. And then he has Shiva, which is interesting because it's 2 magic. And he's already got insane magic, so you can definitely turn him into a very, very huge powerhouse attacker. The problem with that is, it only really benefits his damage. His healing is Holy Wind, which heals based on his max HP, which he does not have any way to raise his HP with Espers, but it's independent of his magic stats, so the way he heals really has nothing to do with his magic. So it's not unviable to build him with a lot of MP part because he needs it, because lures are expensive, and stamina. And he also gets a +2 stamina Esper later as well, so you can have a lot of stamina on him, and he can become very magically defensive, and heal himself really well with regen and stuff. Notice his magic power is 48, so it's insanely high already, so that's an option. Relm is pretty balanced. She's got only 2 things that she can really do right now. She can level her speed a lot, or she can get the magic. This is her only magic Esper, so she has to deal with the lower returns on MP. She does eventually get a better MP Esper, but it doesn't give magic, so it's just kind of a choice. She has an alternate build option, which is stamina, but she doesn't have the Espers to do it yet. She needs to get those in the World of Ruin. So regardless of what you would be doing with her, it's probably a good idea to give her speed and magic right now, if you're using her, which I'll have to decide if I'm even using her right now. So I might just leave her as she is, but I think she needs to get the Esper levels, so she'll get the Esper levels, but she may not spend them. We'll see. Everybody else will probably keep going more or less with what they were doing before. Locke's got 10 Kieran levels. I think that's probably enough. I'll probably either get him speed or vigor. He may not come to the Floating Continent anyway, though. Terra will probably continue with her HP MP stamina build. And with the other characters, it's just a matter of trying to figure out what they're going to do. So for now, I'll be stopping here, leveling everybody up, getting all that done. But until then, should be a lot of fun. So I'll stop there, just wind things down, and I may be back later, I'm not sure. I may end up watching other streams instead, but we'll see. So I will upload this to YouTube as soon as I can.